So guys, this is the first ever vlog I'm doing, and I'm just outside of the Hilton Hotel in Mumbai, and I'm waiting on my Uber. So this is my first glance of India. Just getting here from the airport was kind of tough because my Wi-Fi didn't work, so it took me quite a while. Now I'm going right to the meeting point to have the slum tour, only having slept like 2 hours.
So welcome back guys to the second episode of Jet Lag and Coffee. Well, what can I say? I'm eternally grateful because the first episode has become a tremendous hit on YouTube. I think I had at least 39 views in the last week. So if you keep spreading the news, we might be up to at least 54 views for the second episode. And then I will be really grateful if that happens. No rest for the wicked, they say, as I just got to the posh Hilton hotel, which normally I wouldn't have booked. But some guys suggested I should rather take a 5-star hotel in Mumbai because of the sanitary standards are not as great. Normally I wouldn't need it, but I did. It was really cheap for the time of my stay. I didn't even spend that much time there, as I dropped my bags, hopped in the shower after that long flight, just 2 hours of sleep, and I was already back on the road, calling a Uber and driving off to Dharavi Slum, where I really was looking forward to meet up with lovely Kavita, a local to the slum, and getting that first-hand information would be really fantastic.
This is something else, guys. Now's the chance. Now's the chance. This is a Ferris wheel.
So obviously you can see it's hand operated, but I'm guessing that the kids are still having fun with it. Maybe our kids are too spoiled after all in our Western worlds with all the phones and all the gadgets and all the Adidas and Nike sweaters and everything. Anyhow, I'm not here to judge anybody. But as you can see, I was early, about an hour and a half early before meeting Kavita. And I just decided to stroll around on my own, not knowing really where I was going, typical Frank style. So I was looking for the entrance to the slum, if you can call it an entrance. It's like an area where 2 million people are living and working. So I was just exploring and adventuring and just passing my time before meeting up with my guide at Third Wave Café. Even that I was mentally prepared for all the poverty, people on the streets, small kids living in dirt and garbage, it still hits really hard, I can tell you. But my first task was to find a safe place where I could start flying my drone, and it was almost like impossible because it was just too much of a crowd, too much of a commotion, too many people, too many kids. I was really not sure if I could pull it off, but as you can see in the video, eventually I did, and it was not all that easy. So just a few boring facts before I get into the craziness of the slum. As mentioned before, there are 2 million people living and working in the slum. As a matter of fact, this place is like 2 square kilometers in the middle of Mumbai, a city with about 25 million inhabitants. And despite what you see on the video, it's all pretty organized. So the most people are working 6 days a week, 12-hour days. They're off on Sundays. But with their families not present, they just use the Sundays to earn some more money on the side and send it back home. Also, the wages depend on the experience of the workers. So they start at $160 a month and go up to $240, all depending on the craftsmanship, on how experienced they all are. And talking about catering, they pay $30 a month for 2 meals a day. And this all works without logistics behind it or even computer systems. The delivery comes twice a day and they take their breaks and keep on working. Here I am still wandering aimlessly through the streets and just taking it all in. At no point I felt uneasy or being harassed because I carried some cameras with me, being nosy, looking into shops and into the pots of the street vendors. I was looking for a place to film the garbage pollution which I've seen from the bridge crossing the slum. I came across this traffic situation which was really difficult because all the moped drivers and the cars and the bicycles, they were just going the opposite way. So it was really tricky not being hit. All these guys are not giving a cold about this white dude walking against the traffic. They just looked at me as I am completely nuts. And honestly, to admit, the air was totally drenched with exhaust fumes. It was a terrible smell. And I was just waiting until somebody just drove right into me. But in all my time in India, I didn't ever experience one accident. With all these things happening on the street, with cows, people, bicycles, cars, rickshaws, not one accident in all that time. And at this time, I was totally determined what kind of shots I wanted to have on my camera. But have a look for yourself. I will leave this uncommented. So before I go deeper into the slum with Kavita, I want to add another drone shot, which I took basically the next day. And it was extremely dangerous because you cannot see it on the video itself, but it was just nearly impossible not flying into some electricity wire. That's why I flew at a higher altitude, and somehow I managed to get it back, with some local kids having a blast while doing so. After 1.5 hours in the slum, it was time to get back to my meeting place. So with all my travels, I'm always pretty restless and I always have an agenda. And mostly things work out the way I never planned it to be. And that is also what I love about life itself, to dive into the unexpected, to get out of your comfort zone and to go where other people maybe are not comfortable to go. So then again, I'm not judging anybody on the travels they make or they don't make. Even I occasionally take it slower, lay down on a beach, enjoying the sun, having a dip in the ocean, grabbing a beer, reading a book. But then after half a day of that, I am likely to get bored. So y'all, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment. Hope to welcome you all back in my next episode.